I think it is. Note to self: don't ever plug your phone in while you're charging while you're trying to do a live stream, and also make sure you're in the go live pre window when you got somebody trying to be like, "Hey, I'm in here, help!" Um, so
It's
yeah,
a lot to keep track of.
yeah. Damn right it is. So how are you, Alan? After that big win.
I'm doing great. There is nothing like a 4-0 away win to kind of improve the mood to make things all right.
Oh yeah. It's everything that you wanted and then some. Um, Big win on here. Let me start messaging some people now to kind of get into the link and everything. Oh, looks like we got some people waiting in here. All right, good shit. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Mad Cat earlier. I know Mad Cat, and I said Rad Cat. Big wins, big results on there. What was the score? I know Red was talking in the group. Um, Louisville was 2-0 up on Birmingham Legion. How did Loudon Tampa Bay Rowdies end up?
Last I checked, it's still 1-0 to Loudon, but
Okay.
I don't think that's a final yet.
Okay. So I think why don't we get in? I suppose let me get your thoughts in on here while I work on some of the fun stuff for editing and everything and getting this out to people. Um, Going into 6 o'clock Eastern comes out. We see Detroit City with 6 changes. What was your mindset upon seeing everything with you know, Nate back in goal, Mike Bryant back in the lineup starting. Villanueva looks like his knock was not as bad as I had feared Wednesday night.
Right.
Um, Connor and thanks for the note, Red. Loudon's 2-0 up on extra time. Connor Rutz with is this Connor's first start in the league this year?
First or second, yeah.
And Ryan Williams in there. That's his first start. And then Becerra Morris Matthews up top. I'm not gonna lie, it was Jaime. What was it? Jaime messaged us coming in to the group, and he's like, "What have I missed?" I was kind of been like, what Michael's celebration was later on in the game was how I was kind of feeling the first 25, 30 minutes of the match. I thought both teams were just I think both teams are trying to like find each other. Like Miami, yes, this year Miami is Louisville is up 4-1.
Hmm.
Um, Miami is Mark Wake. Thank you for the note on there. This is actually a new stream we had to create due to technical difficulties on the first one. So on there. So thank you for the note on that. Working on getting that updated link out to everybody for checking out. Essentially, I feel like I don't know. It took 15, 20 minutes. We dodged a couple bullets early on with corners, and then a little movement and bend the Reese.
Yeah, and it was just before the half, so it was a really good time to score. The first half was sluggish, uh, which is not totally surprising given the conditions. 90 degrees, like Florida, full blast humidity. So it must have just been a miserable time for the players, and of course the Miami players are used to that.
Right.
So it was challenging circumstances, and to be honest, we didn't make a lot of attacks on goal in that first segment of the first half, and that was a bit frustrating. And so uh, concerns. There was definitely concerns about the pace of this game and whether we were going to kind of be able to put up the effort that we needed to do in order to challenge Miami because they were looking pretty comfortable in terms of maintaining their lines, etc. So getting that goal it's like one of those cliches, getting one goal changes the game,
Yeah.
opens it up. We started the second half pretty good. Uh, Miami did make some changes. They did try to adapt their formation. So it was a brighter start for Miami than probably we expected. But it just like we had some opportunities. Uh, the thing that we had that Miami didn't was a bench. We
Yeah.
had talent on the bench because of the formation changes and the lineup changes that we went into the game with. I think it was risky to to start some of these players who haven't played all that much. And again, a new cast of characters. Nate in goal for the first time in a few games. Uh,
I hope
that could
Jaime does
either go
have a
good or it could go bad.
yeah.
Either way.
Also, yeah, because I think we had thought originally before the game on Wednesday that after like when we had gone in that okay, Carlos is the number one, but then we get home Wednesday night and what we see an illness, 5 or 6 people out ill, Danny himself ill. Um, and I think honestly that might, and he was saying that might have been the effect why Nate was in. Um, but yeah, when you were saying we had people coming in off the bench ready to go, that's still kind of a new area of where we're in USL Championship. Um, to be able to say that and to be able to watch it. When we're 2-0 up and you're seeing Maxi come on, was that for you a sign of okay, good? I want to ask you this because I think Jeremy Churchman and I had a good caught, and I got his my and Jeremy, I appreciate if I'm gonna mention this in here. We were talking because I think we were like, okay, why are we putting our guns on? Because not only did we put Maxi on, we put James Murphy on, and my immediate mindset is look at what we saw Wednesday. We're 1-0 up 55, 60 minutes in, whether it was by illness or injury. And I think Reese didn't, I think also, too, we learned Reese didn't pass a fitness test before the Pumas friendly.
Hmm.
So he might have only been on a select amount of minutes, uh, going into Wednesday. So for this time, we kind of see almost the complete opposite of that. Go
Right.
instead of going the safe route, it's we're on the Florida version of the fucking autobahn, which apparently I heard Florida highways are kind of like that, and we just like this ain't done at 2 now. Go, and Maxi comes on first shot. He seemed to really find his spot. I felt like inside left box gets that takes the shot, like or at least a couple times. I don't know. In your opinion, was that shot of his that powerful to get in the to get through, or is it just like keeps like gonna like feel that slip through his hands like for the next week plus?
Well, he came in. He knew what he needed to do, and I think that was probably the right time to bring him in as well. 60th minute. Uh, I kind of was figuring that if we went to the half 0-0, that we'd probably have some halftime changes, but bringing him in a little bit later probably was a good move to allow them to conserve some energy. And I think we just overwhelmed them in the second half. That after those subs were made, and Michael Bryant, just he's been kind of absent a little bit
Yeah,
lately, and I don't know if he was one of the crew of people that got sick, with the whatever bug was going through the locker room, but uh, really just came in there. It was a good game for him. It was a good it was a good game for him to kind of assert what he can do. And so I think all of the subs really worked pretty good. Uh, and at that point, Miami was getting a little bit more desperate,
A
and
little
it
bit
did get
more.
more chippy at the end there,
Yeah, losing
as
a man.
they once again, uh, it was just yeah, Sheldon coming in. It We were able to kind of almost like bring in a whole new team at that point after the
Yeah.
60th minute, and Miami just didn't know what to do with that. And so, was it a game that we should have won? Yes. Was it a game that had a little bit of probability to it? I'd say yes, because of the conditions, and Miami has brought in a few new players,
Right.
uh, and it was you always have to worry about those away games. And I've said it a few times that those aren't gimmies, but in the
When,
end, and plus 4 on the goal differential
yeah.
could be a big factor this season.
I think when you also look into the fact that Miami has proven to be difficult at home this year, regardless of who they played, they have opening matchup. They withstood the Colorado Springs pressure and beat Switchbacks 2-0. They made Charleston work for everything that Easter weekend. Jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Um, Battery eventually won that match, but it showed like, hey, this team, unless you like really hit them up early, they can make it difficult as a match progresses.
Right. Yeah.
And it looked like we hadn't hit our rhythm early on, but once Reese got that goal, and then I think once Michael made it too, you could tell like, all right, steps in the right direction. Our chat's kind of blowing up. So Tampa Bay lost to Loudon 2-0 ahead of the Rowdies' trip to Keyworth next Saturday. That's big.
That's big.
We'll talk table in a minute. Either Legion were spent after their come from behind win over us on Wednesday, and probably a little bit of that, and probably Louisville was just incredibly pissed off. Louisville goes into Birmingham 4-1 win. So Louisville outscores Birmingham in their 2 games this year, 9-1. So
Yeah, so we're fifth in the East. So a couple few favorable results for us tonight, and competitive. Uh, the game against the Rowdies is going to be huge. We
Mhm.
knew it was going to be huge already, but
Yeah.
even more so. And I think with the confidence that the guys got out of tonight's performance, I think we'll see that in the game against the Rowdies. Uh, I think even more than the friendly against Pumas, bringing that into the Birmingham game. I think we didn't really see that bump that we were hoping for. But a league win leading into a big game like that, I think that's got to have an impact, and it'll be a fun weekend. A lot of stuff going on.
So now let's parter into why we just realized why next weekend's about to be even fucking busier than we anticipated. So we had the heartbreak of Wednesday. Mood feeling vintage. Did I maybe play with fire a little bit when we recorded on Tuesday about trying to make it a fortress? Yeah. Shut up, Red. But yeah. Uh,
Red's
play
causing
fire.
trouble in the chat again.
Play with fire and you're gonna get no, he didn't say that. It's he remembered what I said on Tuesday night when we recorded and then
Ah.
immediately put me on blast on Twitter, and I was just like, he was right, but at the time I didn't want to hear it. So so we don't want to go with that. Yeah, I see those eye emojis now. So let's go into the next item. So the women. Go to Kentwood, just outside of Grand Rapids. Go to a place where we had our first ever game in the summer of 2020, where we had fuck you with the boob emojis now. had tough heartbreaks multiple times. Midwest United going in knowing Midwest needed to win out to try to get second in the playoffs. The one wild card spot in the conference. We just needed a win or draw on Thursday night to clinch not just the playoff spot, but the division, and also to wrap it up, signed, sealed, delivered. Tatiana Mason, early on, great goal, great movement. It just seemed like as soon as we had the ball, because we started off the kickoff, it was like you're on 96 going west, 2-lane highway, and you see that you got a truck you're in the right lane, and you realize that you got to go to the left and then fly open for open highway because it was like we were already, that was the mindset. Tatiana Mason goal. Hannah Crum with a long distance free kick that just ringed off the crossbar. A handful of minutes later, a long distance strike by Tatiana Mason hits the crossbar for a second time. Then in the second half, we switched on and went a little bit younger up top. Ella Kay and Aubrey Chiampo. Midwest made it a little bit difficult, but final score: Midwest United 0, Detroit City FC 1. I was off on the double prediction. I was a year early on the double prediction last year, as you can go back to whatever episode of 451 Tunnel Talk that was. Detroit City, playoff spot, Queens of the Great Lakes Division champs. How good does that feel to listen for you to hear that as it is for me to
Oh,
say
yeah.
that right now?
Well, I was watching that game, and that goal came pretty early in the game.
8 minutes in, I think.
Yeah, and it was truly a masterful management of that lead through the balance of that game. And Midwest United had a few chances, which Gabby was able to handle, but uh, it was a back and forth battle the
Yeah.
whole rest of the time. And fortunately, we had a stream; we could see it, and uh, you kind of like were waiting for that equalizer, and it didn't come.
Yeah.
And as the minutes ticked by, you could tell that the Midwest United players were starting to get nervous that the sand was slipping through their fingers, and so it was such a big win. I mean, it's hard to express that uh, at a place where we've never had much success,
Nope.
and at a season that went so well for the women, and we just had to like see it through to the end, and they were able to do it. I mean, huge shout out to everybody, all the players,
Yeah.
uh, all the coaching staff. Really showed us a side that we've always wanted to have. Just a superior women's team, and we got it this year. And it's not over
Hell
because
no.
the
We've
regional
only just
playoffs
begun.
are going to be at Keyworth. Again, that's another thing we've always wanted. We want playoffs at Keyworth. Well, we're getting them. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a long weekend. If
Not
it's
yet.
it,
Not yet announced by the club yet. So for some of you, this may be the first time hearing this.
oh, did I?
Uh,
Oh, shit.
it's like Abdi Salim last week. We're gonna find out anyway. So, uh,
So this was news from the future. Just ignore me. I was just totally making that up.
um, we don't have just one game at Keyworth next Saturday. I think it's for more details. There should be dropping from the club, but from what I'm rumbling is next weekend. So there's 14. It's going to be 4 teams that make up I forget, let me bring up the conference that consists of not what Detroit City and it is. So it's the Great Lakes division, it's the Heartland division, and it's the Valley division. So there's going to be 4 clubs that is the Central Conference that we are in. So those 4 teams, Detroit City is the lone representative out of the Great Lakes division, champions, Queens. Valley division, An old foe from 2022, but a foe from many of our clubs and our men's experiences, Indy 11.
Yep.
And then the two, there's
The
going to be
holding
two.
champions right now of the league.
Yeah, the ones that were Flint City's only lost last year, and they kicked the shit out of them at Atwood. And then the Heartland division is going to be the one with two. The second place spot's going to be going to Riverlight FC, which I believe play in Aurora, Illinois, as
Mm.
Sean Scrogan dropped the bid on. And then a club that we've heard about for since we've gotten in the USLW League, Minnesota Aurora, who, like Detroit City, 9 wins and 2 draws. But the Heartland division's a little bit different. You have 4 heavy hitters and 3 teams that are kind of more like a Cleveland, Michiana in our division. Minnesota Aurora going into today had 47 goals scored and 6 goals allowed. They were at RKC Third Coast tonight, and they were 1-0 up early on against them. They won that first meeting 7-0. So, even unless we beat Ann Arbor by 25 or 30 goals tomorrow, we'll be likely the number 2 spot. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you go to the USLW League website and you go to the stadiums and the clubs in there, one thing that they talk about is that they do not want to, they try not to have division rivals face each other in the first round of the playoffs. This would be the conference semifinals. Since Minnesota Aurora is going to unless they slip and drop points tonight. So if they draw and we win tomorrow, we're the number 1 seed out of that conference. However, it wouldn't be normally a one, potentially may not be a 1-4 because you have, hey, y'all, I just checked Twitter. You want to know what the update of that Minnesota Aurora game is at RKC Third Coast? RKC Third Coast 0, Minnesota Aurora 13.
Oh, jeez.
I am not fucking joking with you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fun. Okay,
Hey,
so they like
how
to
many
score goals.
how many
Okay,
Shoresy
okay.
people we have in the chat? How many Shoresy people we have in the chat? Because yeah, they're fucking good, so fucking good. But yeah, so
Mm. Mm. So, yeah. I agree,
yeah,
Red. That's a
yep,
that's a
definitely.
gulp and a half, yeah. Uh okay, so proceed with your point.
Point being is we may not. It may not be Aurora Riverlight as a 1-4. So if they do 1-4-2-3, it would be Aurora Riverlight us versus Indy in the semifinals. If they don't do that, it may be like Aurora Indy us Riverlight.
I
I
think
would
that would be the option I would prefer.
um and if I wonder if the W League people that form up as a state, Cat, I don't think we're going to have to score like 40 now. I was saying 25 to 30 before Aurora put 13 on against RKC today. Yeesh.
Our players
Uh,
are good. I'm not sure they're plus 40 good.
all you have to do
I
is
don't think
win.
anybody's plus 40 good. You let like the Bolivian fourth division, against some team
Hey,
like that
hey, man,
level. But
all you got to do in the playoffs is win by 1 goal or by penalties.
yeah, so it's gonna be an exciting playoff, Central Conference playoff.
Right.
Uh and we'll just I mean, as far as I'm concerned, once you get to the playoffs, it's gravy at that point. We
Mm.
want to go as far as we can. Uh, happy to be there. That's the main point. So
Um,
it's a good reward for an amazing season.
to give y'all an update on some of your like how have Indy 11 this year if Aurora is 9 wins and 2 about to be 10 wins and 2 draws like us. Indy 11 has dropped 2 games this year.
Mm.
They have been in the form of, as I'm looking it up, they're saying they dropped 2 games, but I'm not seeing the 2 games that they dropped unless those were draws. Oh yeah, these actually are tied. I do not like so USLW League does the same thing as USL does. Instead of wins, draws, losses, they do wins, loss, ties. So then I go and check this out, and I'm like,
Confusing.
nope. Yeah. So they've won 7, they've drawn 2, they've scored 36 and allowed 7. To give you a rundown, that division has Kings Hammer as second place with 17, Lexington SC, where remember when we thought we were going to get their head coach to take over for our side, for those that remember Thanksgiving weekend of 2023. Racing Louisville's B side with 11, and then St. Charles SC. I feel bad for y'all. 10 games played, no wins, 10 losses, 2 goals scored, 65 goals allowed.
Oh, jeez. Ouch.
Michiana wasn't
Ooh,
even that bad.
ooh.
The worst team in the Heartland division is 2 wins, 8 losses. Chicago Dutch Lions. They scored 10, allowed 41. Third Coast is now going to be the worst goal difference by far for sure after this Aurora game. So they had 12 scored, 47 allowed, and that was before tonight.
Wow.
So Aurora has scored 20 goals on RKC Third Coast in 2 matchups this year. Run them up and fill it in, right? Uh, so I think now we'll wait and see what the actual bracket results are. We'll see when the games are for the club. Just Rock Flag Eagle and Keyworth next weekend, y'all. Real quick, I suppose, since we're gonna roll on the 26 minutes in here, um, as I go through, I'll check the league website to just do like a recap on some other stuff. It looks like Sacramento, San Antonio, and New Mexico are having a nice little Donnybrook, based off of what Red was talking about. We got Colorado up on Monterey. Let's see what else do we have here today. Uh, Let me see. We have that's it so far. We got Orange County Oakland Roots at 10, Las Vegas Lights, Pittsburgh Riverhounds at 10:30. 11 o'clock tonight, we got Sacramento taking on Hartford. Phoenix Rising lost 5-1 yesterday to Memphis Rising and have let their head coach go. So apparently, my one Elaine Evans who covers Phoenix sports and was in here at Keyworth in May was saying apparently that move did not really go well. Either
Mm.
vitriol. I don't know if that's vitriol as like good riddance, he's gone, or good riddance like what the hell? Why are you letting him go after just his first season coaching? Um, how are you feeling about Tampa in light of this 4-0 win? In light of us turning it out, um, and seeing the Rowdies stumble in Leesburg tonight.
You know, I that will never be an easy fixture for us, whether home or away. So, uh, the guys are gonna have to dig deep for that. Whether it's in front of the home support or at at in Tampa, this is never going to be an easy game. I would say that's probably the side that we've struggled with the most, maybe them in Indy. So uh, optimistic, but we're going to have to get a lot of stuff right to win in that game.
We said this on Tuesday. Haven't got it 100% complete. Like, hey, this is happening on there, but feel like I got a more than 50% idea what they're planning. Um, Channel Johnny Cash, folks. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, picture this in black. This is
So
probably
one quick thing.
yeah.
Big shout out to the away support down in Miami. A mix of some folks that came down from Detroit,
Yep.
and also some local folks in
Reese Williams, his
In
parents were
Southern
there too.
Florida. We really appreciate what you did. You were
Yeah.
the only support that was in that stadium, and we could hear you loud and clear. So I think it added a lot, and it probably helped us get the win the way we did. So huge shout to them.
And also Reese Williams' family for being in town.
Oh yeah, there was players' family
Yep.
in town, and so
Reese,
good night. It's a good
Reese,
night.
Yeah, Reese going by his parents to celebrate was a cool touch. Royce Williams was the club's man of the match tonight. I know some people are going to probably be like, "Why, Maxie when he comes on with two?" But you know what? I thought Reese had a hell of a performance. Especially, I noticed near the end he was starting to track back a little bit more to come back as we were going heavy on there. Um, I don't know if I talked about this. How about the fact that maybe Ben Morris is becoming an assist machine? Two in a row with Reese, and now he's got 4 assists, 2 goals and 4 assists this year already. Are we seeing the wing being his true calling?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where we maybe thought his best position would be based on the highlight reels that we saw of him at Ipswich and other places. So,
Yeah,
I it could be that really is his natural position. So, uh, we'll see.
14-0 now for Aurora. Just got an update for that. So
Stop scoring. You,
it's like the fireworks now going off outside my
they're
place.
dead already. Quit beating them.
Oh, teasing everybody that's a fan of any Channel 451 content. You're gonna be taking a look. There's some new content that should be coming out tonight, unless he chickens out. And all I'm just gonna say is Jaime with a recording on the phone. Argentina's played Peru in the Copa America. A city match has happened, and there might have been some pisco.
Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm glad because otherwise this live recap would have been him and me at like 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. And I've been like, no, fuck this. I want to go get a Frosty. Tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m., the women's regular season finale is in Ann Arbor. This is the glory lap, right, of this season.
Right.
However, an undefeated regular season is on the line. I expect this team to go in to Ann Arbor tomorrow and want to, I don't want to say, Red, it ain't wine drunk, Hobie. But to give you a rundown, last 3 games against Ann Arbor, 14 goals have been scored. 6 were scored in Ann Arbor last year. I think they were in Ann Arbor last year. They were in Ann Arbor last year, not Saline, right? I forget the years, what year they were where.
I think last year was at Pioneer, yeah.
Which is what tomorrow is going to be. Not sure what we're doing yet as far as content wise. We'll have some contingent from 451 and Majors crew there. So I'll just say we'll aim to have something, at least a recap, maybe an interview. We'll go from there. But anyone else that's going to Pioneer tomorrow, look forward to seeing y'all. That's 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. To everybody that dealt with the technical difficulties earlier tonight and came on to hear y'all real ones, we appreciate you. Thank you much and understanding on that. To Danny Dicchio and the lads, hell of a response after Wednesday. I was channeling the old world of a pissed off supporter in the current world on there, but I feel better after Wednesday with tonight. Hell of a response. Hope everybody get ready for Tampa. To Dave, Leahy, Danny Evans, Lisa Baran, anyone in the coaching staff that I am forgetting, and all the players that constituted this Detroit City FC women's squad for the USLW's league side this little 6 to 8 week run, and which should hopefully be at least another couple weeks, and then also the side that took part in the PASL campaign in January. Y'all are fucking rock stars. Well done. We're proud of you. We know there's more to come. So that's all I got for everybody on there. Alan, did we forget anything?
Nope.
Anybody?
Stay tuned for more later.
Yeah, and anybody that also showed up to Russell tonight for Russell earlier today for what was NGS's tie dye for Pride Raiser. Well done. Sounded like it was an awesome event. So y'all are real ones on there. Since June is ending tomorrow, let's provide an update on real quick where NGS Pride Racer currently stands here. It is at 2,104 goals and 69 cents. 18 goals have been scored. for a total of $37,884 to go
Wow.
towards the Ruth Ellis Center. And then, yeah, so fantastic work for a fantastic organization and the work that they do in the LGBTQ community. Um, yeah.
Best wishes to Red in his future endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's a quick
Hope it
remedy,
goes well, buddy.
and hope it's something
We're
that's not
we're
like.
we're thinking about you.
Congratulations to all of our Canadian contingent. You have Canada Day on Monday, and you have Canada advancing to the next round of Copa America. Well done.
That's huge.
Jaime's gonna be pissed. Shout out to yeah, but we have many contingents on here. I have no comments on the U.S. on there. We might get completely Bielsa on Monday.
Probably.
But yeah, that's it for now. Otherwise, we're going to be here for another hour. Alan, what are we? Or is it? What do you think? Content stuff next week. We just got to wait and see what this women's schedule is, and then we go
Yeah,
from there.
we'll call it by ear.
Yeah, the Jaime thing should be a drop. It's not going to be a live thing, but it should be something after he does it, unless he falls asleep before he does it, and then then forgive us. I don't know how much Bisco's involved in this. Yeah, folks.
All right. I think
Have
that's
fun.
good. Let's call it
See
a
y'all
night.
tomorrow.
Peace.
See ya. Howdy. Night. Oh, and I know how to hit it off in the first time. Doink and doink.